scene stealer if there ever was one, the award for Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical goes to Norbert Leo Butz.
Thank you so much to the Outer Critics Circle Award. I would like to thank, in no particular order, the following. Advil.
It took only a few previews before the word filtered back to us that we should dispense with this year's Best Actress in a Play category and simply hand this dame her award for her amazing masterclass portrayal in Edward Albee's Three Tall Women. They don't and won't come any better than that, we were told. Suffice to say, nothing now on Broadway sets off the emotional sparklers like she does, crossing the stage or spitting out a comically caustic line. It's as though she's never been away, and she has, big time. Having distinguished herself in every medium imaginable, she took a 23-year intermission and played Parliament. That done, she threw everybody a curve by returning to the stage powers undiminished. Hers is a performance of startling stamina and precision, a real gift to the Broadway community, and this is a little token of our appreciation. Accepting the award for Outstanding Actress in a Play is Glenda Jackson.
Highly inappropriate, but as this is the Outer Critics Circle, I have to tell you that I'm not a Dane, and the Outer Critics Circle does not have the power to create me. That is still reserved, thank you, for Her Majesty. I truly don't know what to say which would in any way touch my sense of gratitude for this award. It's only exceeded, actually, by my gratitude for being given the opportunity to appear in this play, and even more importantly, to appear with actresses of the calibre of Laurie Metcalf and Alison Pill. This is my eternal moan. Why don't contemporary dramatists find women interesting? They don't. But thank you, Mr. Albee. Even though you may not have liked it, you certainly made my character interesting. Thank you, Andrew, for painting such a graphic picture of the torture we go through every night. Your image is what you said, striking the ball. Mine is going off the diving board and wondering if there's any water in the pool. And that is something we discover every night. It is truly a privilege to be here back in Broadway, and I've been immensely touched by people who remember me. I always find that absolutely astounding. They produced playbills from 30, 40 years ago. I can't believe it. But anyway, thank you so very much. It is a true privilege to be here, and it is somehow warming to know that critics can endure for 68 years. Thank you.
Accepting the award for Outstanding Actor in a Musical is Ethan Slater for SpongeBob.
Goodness. It's utterly surreal and bizarre to be here in this room accepting this award. Thank you so much to the Outer Critics Circle. I think one of the amazing things about this opportunity is to look back and reflect on what got me here over the past 5 or 6 years. And I've comprised it into 2 main things. One is SpongeBob. SpongeBob is surprisingly relatable. He is this character that is wacky and underwater and has been on TV for 20 years, and somehow people love him. But at the core of that is this optimism that is something that we aspire to. SpongeBob is able to love in the face of fear, and in our show, written amazingly by Kyle Jarrow and conceived by Tina Landau, who I'll get to later, saves the world every night, not just from a volcano, that may be because of tidal warming, but also from itself. He saves the world from itself. The town is letting fear get in the way of the community. And it feels like an utter privilege to be able to save the world from itself every night. Which leads me to the second thing, which is that SpongeBob doesn't save the world on his own. He does it with a community. That community on stage is our unbelievable ensemble. It is surprisingly an ensemble show. I know it's called SpongeBob SquarePants, but come see it and you will realize that every single person on that stage is working so hard and so well, and they are so talented, and I am lifted up by them every single night. Specifically for me, my team of Trace, Lily Cooper and Danny Skinner. Danny and I have been working on this together for 6 years, and since the day before the first workshop 6 years ago, we've been fast friends and now best friends, and I couldn't do it without you, off stage or on. And finally, Tina Landau, who conceived of this wacky trip, this rock concert, and this story that has heart. It is something that it doesn't have any right to be in a lot of ways. A lot of people hear SpongeBob SquarePants and they ask me, how is it moving around in that big foam costume? And because of Tina Landau, I'm in a button-down shirt and pants. And that's the core of the show to me, is that it's stripped down, and she found the heart in this potentially commercial enterprise and created something that is beautiful and means something. And it is a privilege to be a part of that every night. So thank you so much. Thank you to the Outer Critics Circle. I cannot believe this is happening.
Resumed her role on the Roseanne series, where she has already racked up 3 Emmys, and then she played Lady Bird's mom, displaying one of the best examples of tough mother love ever put on screen. It earned her a Best Supporting Actress nom from the National Society of Film Critics. These days you'll find her at the Golden Theater in 3 Tall Women, working overtime as a make-nice caretaker to keep a cranky heiress on an even keel. Accepting the award for Outstanding Featured Actress in a Play is Laurie Metcalf for 3 Tall Women.
Oh, I'd like to thank the Outer Critics Circle voters for this recognition, and say how proud I am to be involved, play a part in our tiny but mighty little ensemble, led by Glenda Jackson and Allison Hill. And I would like to dedicate this award to our director, Joe Mantello, who led me through, who helped me find this really elusive character in the rehearsal room, and for casting me in his beautiful production of 3 Tall Women. Thank you.
Playing this part in Tony's masterpiece has been the biggest artistic privilege of my life to date. It's impossible not to be changed by this play. I share this recognition with the entire ensemble. It is the most remarkable group of actors that have been assembled on the stage. No offense to any of the other productions this season. I'm slightly biased, but I mean it. And perhaps mostly to Marianne Elliott, our director, who is an artistic warrior. Her big thing in rehearsals was allowing us to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. And as long as we were bold and took risks, failure was a beautiful thing. And the beauty of theatre is that we get to risk failure every night, accept our imperfections every night. And the great design, one of the great designs of Tony's play, is that imperfection and failure is inevitable over the course of 7.5 hours of a gay Fantasia on national themes. So we are failing, but risking every night. And I'm really, very, truly moved by this honor, and I will continue to strive, so thank you from...
Thank you so much, I'm so grateful. I am too grateful to George Bradshaw and Lerner and Lowe, and all of our company, who is just the most gifted group of artists I've ever met. And I'm just full of gratitude. Thank you so much.
Accepting the award for Outstanding Featured Actor in a Play is Nathan Lane for Angels in the
It's a pleasure to be here. I like any luncheon that has Hershey's Kisses on the table. It reminds me of being back at grammar school. You know, the Outer Critics, you've always been very, very kind to me. It's greatly appreciated. As I always say, one day you'll make it over the wall and become inner critics. I know you will. Just keep up the good work. One of the things I love about Sardi's is looking at these great drawings, and I was noticing Rose Marie over there with the little black bow. And I always thought, and she never gave it up, even if she was 98 or something. She's still not, they tell her, you want to let go of the bow now, Rosemary? Is it time? You're 98. And she never did. And that's what show business is about. Hold on to something works. Like the little black bow. Well, Roy Cohn was wacky and underwater, and he was on TV for 20 years, and yet people still loved him. What can I say, ladies and gentlemen, as Andrew Garfield, or as I call him, Oprah, is saying, he always gives an inspirational speech wherever he goes. People weep, they bring their children for him to heal, and maybe he'll turn the water into wine in a little bit. Okay, I like a lull myself. It gives me time to consider what I want to say, and you to consider whether you picked the right person for this category. Look, Angels in America, you're lucky to be in it. It's a privilege, and I want to thank Rufus Norris and everyone at the National Theatre who helped create the production. Jordan Roth, Tim Levy, and the many brave producers who brought it over. The incredible people at the Neil Simon Theatre who make it happen 7 times a week, and especially our incredible stage management, backstage crew, all the departments. They're going above and beyond. It's 7.5 hours. Have you heard? People like to tell you that it's 7.5 hours, but as I like to say, it's not a rectal probe. It's a Pulitzer Prize winning, Tony Award winning masterpiece by a little genius named Tony Kushner, ladies and gentlemen. I thank our incredible designers, the brilliant visionary Marianne Elliott. I thank her for thinking of me for this, and I thank the Shadows. The Shadows are those dancer puppeteers who the hardest working people in show business, our understudies, this incredible company of actors led by the miraculous Andrew Garfield, and in particular 3 of the best scene partners I've ever had, Lee Pace, Nathan Stewart Jarrett.
I was told to do a very loose 40 minutes. I want to say thank you to the Outer Critics Circle. I really am honored to be here, and thank you for recognizing that I did try real hard on this. And it's been a pleasure to feel so welcomed into this community coming from TV and film, and to get to come to these events where I get to mix and mingle with people who I idolize on to see. Tony Kushner, you have all the best words. That expression only is fitting of you. Norbert Leo Butz, I've always wanted to ask you, was there a Norbert Butz in Equity? If you had asked me in 2003 when I was on Fire Island trying to finish the screenplay for the movie Mean Girls, if you had asked me then, if you told me then, that one day this would be a Broadway musical, I would have said, okay, when do you need it? Because I am very dutiful and my only joy is work. But this is certainly larger than me, and I share this completely with Casey Nicolau, who I love so dearly because he likes to move as fast as I like to move. With Nell Benjamin, who I love so dearly because she takes these characters even more seriously than I do. And to Jeff Richmond, who I actually do love very dearly, because I have intercourse with him. It's a back and forth. All 3 of those guys have had a lot more experience in this form than I did, and they very patiently shepherded me through the first 3 years of the process, only to see me gain confidence and become increasingly bossy as we got down to the last 4 months. But I think it all worked out. I'm indebted to Lauren Michaels, obviously, who I always say the only thing Lauren ever gave me was everything I have. To Sonia Friedman, who has been so smart and so helpful, stepping in for the late Stuart Thompson, who held our hand until the very last minute that he could. Stuart came to a photo shoot for the show, you know, like days before he passed, and he was just the ultimate gentleman, and I miss him dearly. I want to thank Jordan Roth for having us and for letting us paint part of the proscenium when we realized that our very pink set clashed with the August Wilson Theater, which is more in the style of Epcot, Mexico. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with our young and talented cast. I don't know any of their names. I feel like I know their spirits, and they seem like good kids. No, that's a lie, obviously. But Martha can maybe attest to this. But a lot of times in TV and film, you spend a lot of time and energy making it seem like the actors are doing things they can't do. So you're like editing a performance to give the actor pace. You are looping their singing or their dialogue. In my case, you are framing out the butt. If you never like walk away from camera, you're working hard to hide what they can't do. And these actors, all of these stage actors, they really can do everything that they are being asked to do, and they do it 8 times a week, and I am in awe of all of them and of all of you and the more actors. I wanted so badly to be a part of this universe since I was a kid, since, seeing 42nd Street at the Walnut Street Theater in like 1984, and the longer I studied acting, the clearer it became that I should be a playwright. I did study playwriting at the University of Virginia, and I remember reading a Shaw play in college and thinking, like, I will never write a stage direction this long. When we were trying to figure out if this was a good idea to try to turn this movie into a musical, and Jeff and I were the first ones on the project, we think about, like, well, is it a story that needs to be told? Does it sing? And you may or may not know that the movie is based on a sociology book called Queen Bees and Wannabes, which is about what they call relational aggression among girls, and just being terrible to each other, basically, and backhanding each other. And what we sort of realized, and through this process realized, that what initially started out as a kind of a thing we wanted to sneakily talk to girls about through comedy has sort of metastasized into a thing that it feels like we should probably all be reminded of, this very simple seeming message of calling someone else stupid does not make you any smarter. Calling someone ugly does not make you any better looking is a very easy thing to say and a very hard thing to put into practice, right? Rosalind Wiseman, who wrote the book, came and did a workshop with our company, which is really cool because that's what she does. She's still doing this, going out into schools every day and working with kids and teaching them how to be appropriate with each other. But they can fight, but they have to, be upfront about it. And she says a piece of language that really stuck with me, which is she tells them that, yes, you may have drama with people, but the difference between bullying and the drama, you'll fight with somebody, but bullying is a behavior that is meant to strip away another person's dignity. And what she says she tells them, and they take to heart with them, is that dignity is not negotiable. And that is kind of the core message of our show, behind all the beautiful Greg Barnes costumes and the Jefferson music and the jokes. The message is that other people's dignity is not negotiable, and that's what we hope that the many drunk bachelorette parties leave with. And then I'll leave you with that dignity is not negotiable, except for the next 2 weeks where I will be giving out wobble jobs in front of the August Wilson Theater. Thank you for having me.